Hello everyone, welcome back again to Liverpool Report today. We've got the latest updates on our beloved club Liverpool, but before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of Liverpool Report news. Let's get started. Sadio Mané's journey since leaving Liverpool continues to spiral, with Al Nassr reportedly giving the Senegalese star the green light to find a new club this summer. After just 2 seasons in Saudi Arabia and a brief stint at Bayern Munich, Mané now finds himself on the transfer list as the Saudi Pro League side targets Manchester United's Alejandro Garnacho as a potential marquee signing. Mané's dip in form hasn't gone unnoticed internationally. Either the 33-year-old has asked to sit out Senegal's friendlies against Ireland and England after being heavily criticised by fans during recent World Cup qualifiers. While his former Liverpool teammate Luis Diaz remains committed to Anfield, Mané's next destination remains unclear, but one thing is certain: the once feared forward is at a crossroads in both club and country. Al Nassr have told former Liverpool star Sadio Mané that he can leave the club this summer as they look to bring a top-class replacement to Saudi Arabia. It continues Mané's torrid time since leaving Anfield, which he did after they lost the Champions League final in 2022. He was a star with the Reds, forming one of Europe's most fearsome attacks, but has been unable to continue that form since leaving English shores. A move to Bayern Munich lasts just a season, and now Al Nassr, where he's played alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, have told him he can seek pastures new after 2 seasons in the Middle East. There are rules over how many foreign players can be in a team, and the Saudi outfit have set their sights on Alejandro Garnacho. The Manchester United star has struggled to convince Ruben Amorim, who has left him on the bench for key games, and a move away from Old Trafford is being discussed and could ultimately suit all parties. Mané's former Liverpool teammate Luis Diaz was also seen as an option, but Arneslot claims he wants to retain the player. That is despite the Colombian admitting he's not held contract talks with those at Anfield as he considers his next move. It could all leave the Senegal icon looking for a new home, and he's copping it on the international stage too. So much so that he's asked to sit out his country's upcoming game against England. The Three Lions will host the African nation at the City Ground in Nottingham in a matter of days. Mané asked to be left out of Senegal's showpiece friendly against England after being targeted by critics and trolls over his recent performances for the African country. The 33-year-old was gutted to be singled out for widespread stick after the 2 World Cup qualifiers against Sudan and Togo in March. His request to miss Friday night's clash against the Republic of Ireland and the meeting with England, and cited personal reasons which were reluctantly accepted by coach Pop Thiaw. Thiaw said, "It is a personal decision that belongs to Mané, and I respect it as a coach. Sadio is a very important player for us, but I don't coach one player, I coach 26 players, and so the most important thing is the collective. I have put together a squad of players who are available and ready to fight with pride for the national jersey." Liverpool are on the brink of smashing the British transfer record as they intensify efforts to sign Bayer Leverkusen's midfield maestro, Florian Wirtz. The Reds have tabled a staggering £113 million bid, £100 up front and 30 million in add-ons, but still trail the German club's £126 million valuation. With Wirtz making it clear that Anfield is his only destination of choice, and Manchester City backing out of the race, Liverpool are confident a deal can be reached. Talks are ongoing, with the player ready to fly in for a medical after Germany's Nations League third-place playoff. Boss Arne Slot believes Wirtz is the creative force Liverpool need to maintain their Premier League dominance and mount a serious Champions League challenge. Liverpool have submitted a new offer to Bayer Leverkusen for Florian Wirtz, but are still below the German club's valuation of the player. The bid totals £113 million with £100 initially and a further £13 million in add-ons. It would be a British transfer record, eclipsing the £107 that Chelsea splashed out on Enzo Fernandez back in 2023, but Bayer Leverkusen believe the German star is worth £126 million until £150 million. Talks are continuing between the clubs and will go on through the weekend. Liverpool do not want to pay the full asking price the Bundesliga side are looking for and are hoping to strike a compromise. Wirtz, 22, has made it clear to his club that he only wants to move to Anfield after Manchester City opted out of the race for his signature when it became clear his preference was Merseyside. Liverpool do not want to pay the full asking price the Bundesliga side are looking for and are hoping to strike a compromise. Wirtz, 22, has made it clear to his club that he only wants to move to Anfield after Manchester City opted out of the race for his signature when it became clear his preference was Merseyside. Boss Arne Slot sees Wirtz as a player who can push Liverpool forward as they bid to defend the Premier League title and go for glory in the Champions League. He's seen as a talent who can make an instant impact, but with the potential to become even better over the coming years. Personal terms won't be an issue once a fee is agreed, and the player is waiting for the green light to head to Liverpool for a medical next week after Germany face France in the Nations League third-place playoff on Sunday. Rudi Völler, the former Leverkusen sporting director, speculated that progress on a deal was being made earlier this week. It's no secret that he'd like to go to Liverpool, Völler told DAZN. I know the clubs are negotiating with each other, but with transfers like this, it's often the case that it takes a while until an agreement is finally reached. Of course, in the end, you have the feeling it will go through. Florian Wirtz has proven that he is a very, very valuable player, not only for Bayer Leverkusen, but also for the national team. That's why he costs a few euros more. Federico Chiesa's first season in Liverpool Red may not have gone to plan, but the story isn't over yet. With just 14 appearances and limited minutes, many assumed the Italian winger was headed for a swift return to Serie A. But Chiesa has thrown a curveball, admitting he wouldn't mind staying at Liverpool at all. In a heartfelt interview, the 27-year-old opened up about the challenges of adapting to the Premier League, battling injury setbacks and competing against one of the world's best in Mohamed Salah. Yet through it all, Chiesa remains grateful for the experience and eager for what's next. With a sit-down planned between his agent, family and the club, could a Liverpool comeback be on the cards? Despite a challenging first season with Liverpool, Federico Chiesa remains open to continuing his stint at Anfield. The Italian winger only made 14 appearances during his maiden Reds campaign, with 10 of those coming from the bench. Although Chiesa bagged a Premier League winners' medal, he had limited time on the pitch, with his sole start coming in a largely ceremonial match at Brighton and Hove Albion, with the title already in the bag. The 27-year-old has been persistently linked with a move back to Serie A, and Chiesa hinted earlier this week that an Italian homecoming might be an option in the upcoming transfer window. However, in a new interview, the Italian has expressed contentment at the prospect of remaining on Merseyside, reflecting positively on his decision to move to Liverpool. The year is over, but it's an experience I would do again, Chiesa told Corriere dello Sport via the Liverpool Echo. Soon I will sit down at the table with the club, my agent Fali Ramadani and my family to find the best solution. I wouldn't mind staying in Liverpool at all. The Italian transferred from Juventus to Liverpool last August for an initial fee of 10 million after being pushed aside by the Italian heavyweights. Although joining Liverpool came with its hurdles, including injury and fitness woes during the early season, Chiesa seems ready to discuss his future with optimism. The Italian star openly expressed his frustration about not getting enough game time, but was quick to avoid criticising Arne Slot for his selection decisions, acknowledging that a player has to accept such scenarios as part of the profession. You accept the choices as a professional and you move on, he said, reflecting on his challenging adaptation period after joining Liverpool. In the first few months, there were many difficulties. Admitting to the stark transition, he added, "If you think that I arrived in Liverpool on August 26th and found myself catapulted to another planet with other teammates without having trained with them, but with a trainer, no friendlies, nothing. And if you remember, in the autumn, Liverpool were going 3 times as fast as the others, an incredible intensity. Up until the match against PSG, Liverpool was ahead of everyone, in the semi-final of Carabao and among the favourites in the Champions League, which PSG won. Could I start to discuss the choices of Slot, who has always been very respectful towards me, as well as the club? I was up against the Ballon d'Or, or one of the candidates for the award in Mohamed Salah. On the left, there were Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo. Slot also made me play as a 9. It was Max Allegri who changed my position, suggesting that I move to a second striker to score more, and I scored my goals. The desire to play was there. I put it aside. I understood the situation. I put aside every form of individualism.